Yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Learnify channel. Today, I'm going to be going over IB chemistry, specifically high level, but most of these tips do apply for standard level as well, as sort of like an umbrella term. But I'm going to be going over how you guys can guarantee yourselves a 7, whether you're sitting it in 2025 right now, or even better if you're sitting in next year or the years to come. The earlier you learn this, the better. Hope you guys are doing fantastic. Make sure you guys like and subscribe for more videos like this. Let's go. So first of all, you need to understand like the structure of how IB provides its HL topics. So you got the core topics and you have the additional HL stuff. So what I would recommend is you need to go over the core topics. Like let's say you're just about to do your exam in 2025. You need to understand those topics first before you go to the additional stuff because most of it builds on the core topics. And this also applies for students who want to pre-study. Like always study the core topics first before the additional stuff. Yes, you might be interested in spectroscopy, right, or like reaction mechanisms, but learn the key concepts first before you move on, and also learn what how you're being assessed. So the internal assessment, the IA is only worth 20%, whereas the papers you got 1, 2, and 3. You got these papers worth way more. So I'm not saying neglect your IA, but learn that you need to be someone who does well in exams. A lot of people say, "Oh, I'm not an exam person and whatnot," but you cannot be like that because in IB a lot of it's external and exams. So you got to be good at exams. You can't just say, "No, I can't be good at exams." That doesn't cut it. Next, you've got to build solid foundations in the core concepts by, I recommend doing key study like active recall, mind maps, or pre-study in class, doing worksheets, doing past papers, doing question banks, just anything you can do to build the foundation. And what I recommend here is mostly revisit these topics regularly, right? So until you have it down pat 100%, and even once you do, make sure you have it down 100% all the time by revisiting. And most of these topics that come up later on, like atomic structure, bonding, and stoichiometry is so important. A lot of you guys who hate math will hate stoichiometry, but you need to be good at it for IB to be good for you for the rest of it, rest of chemistry at least. But yeah, so as much as I say like use flashcards to memorize content, you also need to understand. Chemistry is a lot to do with understanding. Much more like biology would be to do with memorizing. Chemistry is a lot to do with understanding. And if you don't understand those foundational core concepts by revisiting them constantly and having them down pat, well, it's going to make studying those extra HR topics a lot harder. Now, if you are like a bit late in your study, I recommend finding using the study guides I've provided. So I'm actually in the process of making a lot of study guides on Etsy. So if you guys didn't already know, I have an Etsy store dedicated to my channel, and I'm basically making a lot of study guides where pretty much imagine you could read it once and you could remember it. I've come up with these silly mnemonics, silly like as in you will remember it for the rest of your life. Like if you read through it once and you have decent memory, you read through it like properly understand it and use the funny mnemonics and funny ideas I've given you, and you will remember everything, right? Like I'm not kidding. Like I've designed it. It takes ages to do, and I'm currently designing topic 3. I picked 3 for some random reason, but if you guys have any topics you want me to cover quickly for your upcoming exams, please comment down below. I will make a video dedicated to you and I'll upload the Etsy product and you guys can go purchase that in your own time. But I'm so happy to do that. I love cool mnemonics because I always thought when I was studying IB, why not make a study tool? You have all these people making study tools. Why not make a study tool where you remember it for the rest of your life, like once you read it once, right? So that's what I've done, come up with the coolest mnemonics that you won't forget. So if you guys have recommendations for topics, leave them down below. But right now I'm working on topic 3, and most likely when this video is uploaded, I'll be able to provide a link for that. But yeah, anyways, active recall and spaced repetition. So I wanted to go more into this, but try and work out if you guys don't already know what Anki is. Anki is a pretty good memorization tool. I'm going to be creating some what do you call it, flashcards for Anki as well, and you guys will be able to access them later on. But I'm in the process of making those because I didn't really use Anki for my IB, but right now in medical school I am using them, and Anki is so important. Like it just makes spaced repetition a lot better. I prefer the simple interface over. something like Quizlet, which may seem more user friendly, but either way, Anki cards are the way to go, in my opinion. Practice them daily, and you won't have to do as much study. And also, you can teach back concepts. So instead of just reading the flashcard, you can try and like reword it and speak to yourself. If that sounds kind of psychotic, but speak to yourself so you can truly understand. Next, master the command terms. So the command terms are pretty important. If you've already haven't already seen the database questions and how absolutely crazy hard they are, you need to know the IB command terms, because describe, explain, evaluate, they're going to be different. They're not going to mean just tell us everything you know about this topic. It means something different. And search up what the command terms mean. I will make a product on Etsy maybe later on if you guys want, with all the command terms and easy ways to remember them if you guys want. And again, leave a comment down below what you guys want, because I want to tailor products to you guys. But yeah, use the command terms and don't be silly and answer the question wrong. You might know the content, but are you really answering it? Practice writing papers and answering them using these command terms, and also make sure you look back at the marking criteria and the marking points, the marking rubric, and marking scheme, just to check the wording the IB uses. Become familiar with it. Next, practice past papers strategically. So what I mean by that is don't just do past papers. So obviously it's too late to do 1 to 2 past papers per week by Jan 2025 and start early. Like it's too late now. It's by the time I'm uploading this, I made this PowerPoint a while ago. But yeah, so you've the 2025 cohort right now should be doing way more than 1 to 2 past papers, maybe 1 to 2 past papers per subject per week, right? And maybe honestly 2 to 3 is probably the right amount, because you are pretty well into it. But yeah, no, mark strictly using the mark schemes. Do not just mark and think, okay, I would have got this right, I knew this. Use the mark schemes. Time it properly, right? And also keep track of your errors, which topics you're sucking in the most, and work on those topics instead of just focusing on the ones you already are good at. So internal assessment, this is already too late for this, but this is more for the next cohort. Find a research topic that's not too crazy hard. You can actually test it at your school or your academy or wherever you're learning, and then make sure it's focused. It's not too hard, and keep the experiment simple. But you can also control it, and it's more about the analysis. It's not so much about how simple or complex it is, but more so how you've written about it. Focus on quality, not just data collection. That's exactly what I said. And use real uncertainties and error analysis, because that is what takes your IA to the next level. Next, we got visuals and mind maps. Use visuals because most of you guys will be visual learners. A lot of times school only teaches us how to learn with words, but a lot of people are visual learners, and unfortunately that side of their character is not really shown. They are stuck with having to learn with just words. So make sure you use diagrams, use mind maps, anything you can find, anything you can make, anything you want me to make, because I used to make a lot of visuals and mind maps. Use those and they'll be easier. Charts especially. And you can use this not just for your IAs, but also just for your learning. Stay consistent and manage your time. So you need to build a good habit of studying chemistry, right? So I personally like chemistry, but I can imagine and relate to people who might not like chemistry. I didn't like chemistry at times, but you have to be consistent. So you have to force yourself to do it 3 times. Use the study guide video I have previously uploaded in my channel, and that will provide you with this Etsy study guide I made, and that will help you build the best habits. I'm not kidding. This study guide is so simple, but it could be the difference between you getting a 45 versus failing the IB, because honestly, every single one of you is capable of getting that 45. The difference between the ones who do and ones who fail, simply just habits and not keeping track of them. But my study guide's really, really, really good. Just apply it to your life. Just print it out every week, and then you'll be able to maximize your habits, not just your IB, but just your daily life in general. It'll be amazing. So make sure you guys have a look at that on my Etsy. And yeah, final revision strategy. So the last 2 months, this is more for the current students, but improve your paper two, because a lot of paper twos are to do with longer responses and harder calculations. But focus on paper twos mostly, because paper ones, as much as you can do them, like multiple choice is arguably, not just arguably, pretty much objectively easier than paper twos, where you have to do short responses. And if you do short responses, let's say a calculation on wavelength, you generally know the topics well enough if you get that calculation right, so that if you were to get an MCQ question on, you'll get that right. So make sure you are focusing more on the paper twos. Summarize your notes to one pages, so make like one page cheat sheets. That's what I'm doing right now. I recommend going to my Etsy as well, having a look at all the products I've got, and do time mocks, like real mocks. So maybe if you got your exam schedule out, like let's say on a day you got the bio paper one and you got the chemistry paper one on the same day. Touch wood, God forbid that doesn't happen to any of you guys, I reckon, because that's pretty tough. But practice doing both of those in roughly the same time, because your body and your mind gets used to that timing, and it will just help you that much more. Next, final thoughts and motivation. Look, IB Chem HL is meant to be hard, but a lot of the time it'll be harder than the local curriculum that you're doing. So just know you'll be well prepared for uni, whether it's someone like me wanting to study medicine, and I did get into medicine. It's pretty good to, learn ahead, and it did help for like the first 6 months, and then medicine went crazy. But anyways, it is beatable with strategy. It's all about implementing these strategies and using consistency. And with consistency, obviously, the resources available, I do have that study guide. Do that, and yeah, just as long as you do small efforts in a longer period of time, you'll be fine. But yeah, also believe in yourself. 7 is within reach. Remember what I said earlier? The difference between a student who fails the IB and 45, it's not how much brains they have, it's how consistently they can work. With that said, guys, that's Learnify signing out. Make sure you guys check out my channel. Like, subscribe, comment down below. Anyways, peace out.